Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 20 years, as she's developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this evening. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We have several callers on hold, and I'll get to them in just a second. Hi, Teresa. I see you've joined us. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll come back to you. And in the meantime, what's going on in Birmingham? Nothing too overly exciting. Things are starting to bloom. Been having a lot of yard work done. You know, we got this wedding coming up, so we're having a brunch the morning after the wedding here at the house. So good excuse to get things done that we've procrastinated doing for a while. But the rain held out most of this week, had a little bit today, but got a lot of stuff done in our gardens and in our yard. So that's always nice when that's done. I have decided to do another angelic attendant training, and it's going to start on April 6th, and it'll go the 4 Saturdays in April for a couple of hours online. I will do the third week of the class that's going on right now, and it has been just fabulous, everybody. I think things are expanding for the people that are doing the class in ways that they haven't imagined that they would expand. We are all in a private Facebook group and talking to each other during the week when we're not together in class, and it's been really remarkable to watch it all unfold. And what I'm doing is teaching them how to do woo-woo. So they're learning how to communicate with any spirit alive or deceased, identify the 12 phases of transition from life to death, and develop and validate the intuitive voice within them. And that's all being done online. And it's like we're in a virtual conference room. It's very cool, and it's as if we're all together, which we are. We're just not in the same physical room. We're in the woo-woo room. How about that? So consider joining us for April and learn how to do it. I was telling somebody earlier today, I think of this as if I can teach somebody to read, they can learn whatever they want. And that's my feeling about this. If I can teach somebody how to communicate with spirit, either alive or deceased, it opens up a whole new world to them. And that's what we're seeing happen. So consider that. You can find information about it at AskJulieRyan.com on the training tab. Okay, let's go to the phones. And I believe our first caller is Miss Deborah. Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
From Hoover, Alabama.
Hoover. We are yoga buddies.
Right.
Deborah and I. Yeah. So we were sweating with the best of them this morning, weren't we, girl?
Yep.
Yeah. Twisting and turning. I talked to Tim, my husband, on the way home from yoga, and he said, "Well, how was it?" I said, "Well, it was great, and now I just feel like a big Gumby." I'm all stretched and twisted.
Yeah, it was a good class.
Yeah, good. Deborah wears this really cool scarf, you guys, in the class, and it has sparkles on it. So when we're hanging upside down doing poses, I get a kick out of seeing her sparkly head reflecting off the lights. She's very glam when she's sweating in yoga. So, well, you got a question for me?
No, I'm just in a, finding out the information. I'm not sure what this is really all about. You gave me a card today, so I just thought I would listen in.
Oh, terrific.
I
Well,
would be a silent participant right now.
Oh, all right. Well, people call in with questions that run the gamut. Medical questions, talking with deceased loved ones. A lot of times people want to talk with their deceased loved ones. Relationship questions, career questions, selling a house questions, past life questions. It just kind of runs the gamut.
Okay.
So why don't I go ahead and take a couple of other callers, and then I'll come back to you in case you think of a question you want to ask. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put you back on hold. So let's go to Teresa next. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
I'm good, dear. Thank you for taking my call.
You are so welcome. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
Amarillo, Texas.
Righty. What's happening down there?
Well, tomorrow it'll be 75, and Saturday it will be, maybe 20 for a high. So,
my goodness.
That's what happens here, yeah. A lot of people are sick because the weather changed so rapidly.
Stay tuned, huh?
Right.
Oh, gosh. Do you have stuff blooming down there? You probably do.
Oh, yes. Some of my friends had posted pictures on Facebook that showed that they had, like, a tulips that had bloomed, and then they're laying over dead because it got so cold.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sad.
Well, this too shall pass, right? I think we have to. I'm crazy enough that if I have something that I really don't want to freeze, I'll go out and cover it. But it's kind of hard to cover a 40-foot tall blooming tree.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, do you have a question for me?
I do, Julie. My husband, Mike, it's probably been about 4 years ago, he had a series of retinal tears in both of his eyes, and more so in his right eye than the other one, his left eye. And when they do that and they do the surgeries, it causes like all these floaters and debris in there. And his doctor suggested that he have a procedure called a vitrectomy, where they suck out all the fluid in your eye and then they put the new in there. Well, when they did that, a vein occlusion occurred, and he lost vision. And he can see light and dark, but he can't see. And it's been quite an adjustment for him. And the doctor said that eventually he thought that he would get 30 to 40% of his vision back in that eye, which we would be so grateful for. But thus far, that has not happened. Can you scan him and see if you can help him?
Yeah, sure. How long ago was the surgery?
I think it was about 4 years ago.
Oh, gosh, so a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, Teresa, is I'm going to raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, I vibrate more rapidly, if you will, just because when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly. So when I raise my vibrational level, I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's going to hook into you in Amarillo. And then from you, I'm going to go to Mike. I'll hook into him. Did you talk to him about talking with me this evening, by any chance?
I did.
You did? Okay. Because I'm going to ask his permission telepathically whether or not I can scan him. And I always do that. I don't ever scan anybody without their permission, because I just don't think it's ethical to do that. I believe that it's just somebody's prerogative whether or not they want that information to be available to me or to anybody else. And also, I don't really think it's any of my business, and I don't really want to know. Imagine being in a crowd of people and get information on everybody in the crowd. That would be really a little overwhelming. So I'm going to ask Mike's permission, and then what I'll do is I'm going to have a laser beam hooked into him, and I'll have the equivalent of a hologram of him in my mind's eye. My eyes will be closed, and then I'm going to shoot energy from his feet up through the top of his head, and it will be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI of him. And so that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading out to Texas. Okay, got you. All right, got Mike. Mike, I'm talking to Teresa. I know it's fine. This is what he just told me telepathically. Okay, I didn't even have the question out yet. All right, so I'm shooting energy from his feet up to the top of his head. All right, he's being turned around to the back. So I'm looking through his eyes from the back as if, you know, those old-fashioned projectors where the light comes out. In a movie theater, they still use them. You know, the light beam comes out and then spreads. So I'm in his right eye. Okay. So his right eye, to me, just looks like it's got an opaque transparency over it, like a cloudy transparency where it's not dark, it's light. Did you tell me he can see light and dark?
Yes, he can see light and dark.
Okay, that's
and
what I'm
shapes.
seeing. Right. I can see that it just looks like there's an opaque transparency. So let me see. What I'm watching happen is an energetic healing right now, Teresa, and I'm watching the lens in the eye, which looks like a contact lens, looks like an intraocular lens that they use for cataract surgery. I'm watching the lens in his eye get removed. I'm watching a new lens get put in. I see a stitch taken on the outside of his eye. I've been in many, many surgeries that are eye surgeries back in my day when I was in the medical supply business. I think you may know I've invented orthopedic surgery devices that are sold throughout the world. And I've seen actual cataract surgery and eye surgery many times, and this is emulating what I saw in the operating room. Okay, so I'm watching it get adjusted. This is interesting. I'm watching the lens get turned, almost like how you'd focus the lens on a camera, the old-fashioned cameras, to get a clearer picture. Okay, so I'm seeing that. What I'm seeing is vision straight out, not great periphery right now at this moment, but I'm getting that could come. But at least he can see straight out with this healing that was just done. It would be interesting to revisit this in another week or so and see what comes up. Let me look at his other eye real fast while I'm in his head and see what's going on with the left eye. Left eye, he has glasses, right? He has glasses that he wears for the left eye.
Because he's had, yes.
Okay. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that it looks like it's fuzzy, but then when glasses, corrective lenses are put on, that it's clear. He can see out of that eye.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me know what happens on that after that healing. I believe he will get his vision partially restored. 4 years is a long time to wait, but we may want to do a private session, Teresa, with him. Okay. So just go to AskJulieRyan.com and pick a date and time, and let's do a private session so we can do a deep dive and do what we need to do to help him heal.
Okay, thank you.
You are so welcome. Keep your mittens handy, huh, for this weekend?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and make that stuff go north and not come straight across to us, please.
Okay, I'll try to divert it up that. Well, I think it's coming from that way.
No, it's probably coming from the west. They've had rain.
Well,
and
it
stuff
says it's an Arctic blast that's moving down.
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, our next caller is LaShonda. Hi, LaShonda.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, girl?
Had a great week so far.
Well, good. It's almost over, so I think you're in good shape.
I think so too. I'm grateful.
Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay.
If I may, I have 2 quick questions for you, or at least I think they are. I would just like to revisit one from a couple of weeks ago. You shared with me that my husband had a sinus infection. He didn't take his antibiotics the way he should have. When he started feeling better, he stopped. And just want to know if he still has it because he's still experiencing some of the symptoms.
Okay. Yes. Remind me of his name, LaShonda.
His name is Mohammed.
Mohammed. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let me connect with you, and then what I did with Teresa and Mike, I'm going to do the same thing with you. My laser beam's going to hook into you in West Palm, and then I'll hook into him from there and ask his permission if I can scan him. And I'm sure he'll give it to me because he gave it to me before. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam heading down to you. Got you. Okay. So got Mohammed. Okay, Mohammed, I'm talking to your cute wife. May I please scan you? Sure. Sure. Okay. All right, so here we go. Yeah, you're right. He's still got a bunch of snot in his nose. It's in his sinuses. Yeah. It's not green, that's the good news. It's that thick yellow stuff. So, is he traveling or is he home, LaShonda?
He's traveling. He's in Texas at the moment.
Okay. And you probably talked to him about sinus rinse, and he probably laughed, right?
He didn't. No, he just went to an urgent care clinic near, the company he works for, and out of state, and they gave him a prescription for amoxicillin.
Uh-huh.
And he took it about 4 days.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he still has it, but I'm not getting many needs to go back on the antibiotic at this point. Tell him to go to a CVS or a Walgreens and to get some sinus rinse. And he can get it instead of nasal spray. It's in one of those squeezy bottles, and he can put it up his nose and squirt it, and it will help rinse out his sinuses without doing the whole neti pot thing.
Okay.
It's just more expensive than doing the neti pot, but when he's traveling, I think it's probably going to be just easier for him to do.
Okay.
So I would suggest that, number one. Number two, I would suggest the vitamin C and zinc trick. Do you know about that? Do you remember? I know you've heard of it on the show before.
You said 1,000 milligrams or micrograms of ester C?
Ester C. You want to always get ester C because it's buffered, so it's less acidic on the stomach. So 1,000 milligrams of ester C, ESTER. It's like the woman's name Esther without the H. So ESTER C, and 50 milligrams of zinc. Okay. And that is just a phenomenal immune booster for the body. It's like I would take it 3 times a day till he's better, and then bring it back to once a day. And also tell him, LaShonda, if he starts getting the runs from that, to back it off. Go back to 2 times a day. Because sometimes it can cause the runs. And that would not be good if you're traveling. Or any time, but especially if you're traveling. Yeah. What's your second question?
Oh, it's about my voice. My singing voice has just, I don't know, I would say it has downgraded over the years. I had voice nodules. I used to get speech therapy for it, but I'm just wondering, do you see anything else going on?
Okay. So you want me to look at your throat?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Let me get you back on my radar here. I just used you as a stopping off point for a second to get to your husband. I just used you to get to your husband, but in a good way.
Yes, I appreciate it.
That's right. Okay, got you. It looks irritated to me. You've got some inflammation going on. Let me get that calmed down. Inflammation, LaShonda, looks to me like red fog on body parts that are inflamed. And to get that calmed down, I just add anti-inflammatory energy, which is kind of a royal blue color. And I need to get it calmed down so I can see what's behind it. Kind of as it reminds me of driving in fog. When you're driving in fog, your visibility isn't very good very far out. So once you get on the other side of the fog or the fog dissipates, then you're able to see what's behind the fog. Ooh. So let me see what's happening. Okay, so I see a narrowing in where the vocal cords are in your throat. Has anybody talked to you about that?
No.
Okay, so there's a space between the vocal cords, how they vibrate, and yours looks like it's narrowing, and it looks like it's swollen, actually. Does your throat hurt? Or does it feel tight?
Not particularly. I mean, I think I have a little bit of post-nasal drip, too. Maybe some reflux from time to time, but
okay.
Not
so
sure.
That may be irritating it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting anti-inflammatory energy on there just to calm that down, see if that helps some. I don't see any nodules or anything.
Oh.
It just looks like there's a narrowing. It looks like it's swollen, like it's inflamed. But it's not infected. I'm not seeing an infection.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
You
checking.
are so welcome. I hope you and your honey feel better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Deborah, I'm coming back to you. Got a question for me yet, or you want to listen some more?
Let me listen some more.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Suze next. Hi, Suze.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I canceled the retreat. Last week you said that it would be in my best interest to go to my uncle's funeral, so we got someone to take our place at the retreat, and we're going to the funeral, so thank you for that. And
was the funeral last week, or is it this week?
It's going to be this week. So, I appreciate the guidance on that. And I've been wanting to ask you about something for a while, and I figured now's a good time to ask. Have you heard of a process called family constellation?
I have not.
Okay, because two friends of mine actually do the process, but they're in different parts of my state, and so I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area. And my question is, they said that it's sometimes helpful to unblock energy in a family, so it's a family constellation, and you share information about the past, family history. And I know when I study law of attraction, where they talk about, you don't need to look at the past, so I brought that up with my friends, but they said this is just like a one-time event you go to, and then different people role play and act out the different scenes, I guess strangers do this. They come to these family constellations. Anyway, I'm trying to decide if it's in my best interest to do this, and if it's there's 3 different names of people. I've spoken to someone named Rebecca, who I could do it with, and then 2 other people. One of my other friends likes people who are trained by her trainer, and the 2 names there would be Leslie or Peter. And I'm just wondering if you have an idea of whether it's in my best interest to do the process, a one-time event, and if so, any of those names stand out to you as someone
is it an all-day process on a weekend or something, Sue?
It's a weeknight. It's a couple hours, and then I would give her all the family history of any kind of secrets or anything that happened, suicides or anything like that. Then you would share that, back from the grandparents. And I did find out about a suicide, but a great-grandfather I didn't know, and apparently his daughter, my grandmother, never knew he committed suicide, but I just in the process of gathering information for it. But so one time.
And your motive in doing this is what?
Well, to help my son who's having some anxiety, and they said sometimes it can unblock energy in a family. So I don't know if it's something that would be helpful or not, but the friends I know who do it thought it would be helpful, and they said a lot of things can change from just doing this process, and kind of clears out the old stuff with full family secrets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's just ask the question, is it in Susie's best interest to attend? Would just you go, or would the whole clan go?
It would just be me, and maybe all the other people she has come play the roles of the family.
Okay,
just be
all right. So your husband and your son wouldn't go?
Not necessarily. My husband might. I don't know. But my son wouldn't.
Would it be in Susie's best interest to attend a family constellation therapy session? Is that fair?
Well, I think it's just a family constellation process. I guess to participate in it, or to hire someone to do it.
to participate in a family constellation process for her family?
Yes.
I get a yes. Susie, I get a yes.
Wow. Okay.
I get a yes. Is it expensive?
Well, if you said it's anywhere from $375 to $525 with the one person I spoke with. So
okay, well, that's a lot for 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she spends an hour or two on the phone too, dealing with hearing the family history, so she can set up the role playing or whatever. So
okay, do you want me to check on these different facilitators?
Sure. Rebecca's who I spoke with.
Is it in Susie's best interest to work with Rebecca for the family constellation process? I get a yes. Is it in Susie's best interest to work with Leslie on the family constellation process? I get a no. Is it in Peter's best interest, or is it in Susie's best interest to work with Peter on the family? I get a yes on him too before the question's even out. So,
so either one.
Yeah, I get those. And everybody that's listening, what I'm doing with that is, if we ask a question in our head to God, the universe, our spirit guides, our deceased loved ones, the whole group, and we preface it with, is it in our best interest to, ... and you finish the question, the answer is going to come within a second or sooner. If you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain answering you. But divine guidance is going to come in within a second. And the other thing to remember is to be the most specific you can be when asking a question, because spirits are really literal. So try and ask a question that's really concise, really drill down on what the question's going to be. The reason I like to ask at this moment in time is because future events are unfolding. Things that are happening now are set in stone. Things that have happened in the past are set in stone. Future events have a million variables that can come into play that can change the outcome of a future event. So, Susie, you know this because you've been listening to the show for a long time, but you know that an answer that we get tonight may be different than an answer we get next week. But at this moment in time, that's all we have to go on. And our human brains don't have the capacity to imagine all the potential outcomes because there are so many variables that come into play. So right now I'm getting yeses on 2 of them. So
okay, great. And by the way, would you think my son? There's somebody that treats. Someone said treats social anxiety, and her name's Lynn. Do you say? I guess she has an appointment next week, which is a miracle because most people I've checked with don't have an appointment. But her name's Lynn. Do you see that as being a good fit for him?
I do. I get a yes right when you were asking the question. Yeah.
Seems pretty miraculous how I found her with all the people who aren't available, and she's written a book and done a lot of stuff with Stanford and all that. So thank you, Julie. Really
you bet.
There's I love your show.
Thanks, Suze. I don't believe there are any coincidences in life. And I think when things unfold, like what you're talking about with this counselor for your son, that's just guidance. You're being led, as they say here in the deep south. You're being led, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. Both
you
of you. Have a great week.
Okay, enjoy your family.
I will. Thank you, Julie.
Together. Okay.
Okay.
Bye now.
Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. We do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-770-4160. And the access code is 533677#. You can find this information a bunch of different places. Go to AskJulieRyan.com. It's on the homepage if you scroll down to the bottom. It's also included everywhere that you can download podcasts. I think we're on several dozen networks. And if you just look in the show notes, this call-in information will be there. In addition, social media. You can find me at Ask Julie Ryan on Instagram and Ask Julie Ryan on Facebook. And I always post every week on Thursdays during the day. Hey, remember to call in because we're doing a show tonight, and here's the call-in information. Another place where you can find it is I do a weekly blog, and it's a question that somebody has asked, and I answer it. And in the body of the email that comes in, it has all this call-in information as well. When you're on my site, consider booking a session and an appointment, and we'll have a whole hour to talk about whatever you want to discuss. It can be multiple things. It can be, we can talk to a deceased loved one, we can do medical, we can do past life stuff, I can scan your pet, we can scan somebody else, we can talk to your spirit guides. I mean, it's just, I like to say I'm a businesswoman that learned how to do woo-woo, and I'm a buffet of psychicness. So there's my buffet. But I was telling somebody earlier today, I said, I'm not one of those psychics who's had dead people chasing her since childhood, or if I did, I didn't know it. And I sure as heck wouldn't have known what to do with it. So I learned how to do all of this, and that's what I'm teaching in my class. So check that out when you're on my site, too. Okay, this week our question came from Jack, and Jack lives in Oakland Park, Florida. And he said, "Hi, Julie. My journey started with a high glaucoma reading over 10 years ago, and now I've started to have hearing loss. In addition, there are sinus issues every day. These things are interrupting my quality of life. Can you please help? Thanks, Jack." And I said to Jack, "Hi, Jack. Sounds like you have places to go and people to see, and your medical issues are slowing you down a bit. In order to get a clearer picture of what's going on, I energetically connected with you in Florida. The first thing to show up was you look dehydrated. If you're on a diuretic, please check with your doctor because you may be taking a higher dose than needed." He just looked like a shriveled plant to me. And you know when you have a plant in your house that needs to be watered and it looks all shrivelly and then you pour water on it and then it perks up? I shot aqua energy, like water energy, into him, and he perked right up. So, Jack, you look really dehydrated to me. I don't know what's going on with that, but you may want to check into it. Next, your right eye appeared to be affected from glaucoma, which is when the nerve connecting the eye to the brain is damaged from high pressure in the eye. I watched an energetic healing occur where a laser made tiny holes in your eye to relieve that pressure. The procedure emulated what ophthalmologists do in eye surgery to treat glaucoma. Regarding your hearing loss, I watched the healing happen on your right ear, then saw a small, discreet hearing aid get placed into your ear. That tells me, in addition to the healing, it makes sense for you to explore getting and wearing a hearing aid. As for your sinuses, they were full of mold. Have you had a water leak in your home or office? If so, please consider getting an ERMI, which stands for Environmental Relative Moldiness Index test, done. The ERMI was developed by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, also known as the EPA, and utilizes DNA testing to identify molds that are linked to water intrusion and various respiratory diseases such as asthma and chronic sinusitis, which is what it sounds like Jack has. If your score is high, hire a contractor who specializes in mold remediation to identify and fix any issues as soon as possible. A moldy environment can make you really ill. Oh my gosh, the stories, you guys, about people that are living in moldy environments or working in moldy environments are just heartbreaking. And it can run the gamut of all kinds of different symptoms. Symptoms like sinus infections, chronic sinus infections, to people that can't walk and they're in a wheelchair. And it's all caused because of mold and the toxic spores that the molds are offshooting. Speaking of him living in Florida, I was in Florida a few years ago and went to dinner in a restaurant that was an old mainstay restaurant that had been there for decades. And I don't think the lobby had seen the light of day ever, probably for 50 years. And I was waiting in the lobby, waiting to be seated. There was a wait line to get seated, and I almost blocked out. And it was because the mold was so bad in there. I had to go outside. And then when our table was called, I went and tried the table, and the table was okay. It was in an area that wasn't moldy, but holy moly, it was really bad. And I'm very sensitive to mold, so I knew there was a problem there. Okay, I went on to say, in the meantime, I did a healing to remove the mold from your sinuses. Hope all of this helps you feel better and quickly resume activities that bring you joy. So thanks, Jack, for submitting that question. Okay. Lastly, when we come to the end of the month, which is today is the 28th of February, that means next week we are going to have a drawing. And some lucky winner is going to win a 1-hour session with me for free, and it's valued at $155. So to enter the drawing, just complete these 3 easy things, and they are follow me on Instagram at AskJulieRyan, write a review about why you like the podcast on iTunes at AskJulieRyan, and subscribe to my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. And then your name will go into a hat, and I pick the winner out of the hat, and I will announce it next week on the show. Each month, I give away a free session as a thank you to all of you who are listening, and also because I know $155 is a lot of money to a lot of people. And if you don't have the money to do a session, but you'd like to have a private appointment, this is a way for you to get it. So follow me on Instagram again at AskJulieRyan. Write a review about why you like the podcast on iTunes at AskJulieRyan. Just go to itunes.com/AskJulieRyan. Or if you have an iPhone where you download podcasts, pull up the podcast and you'll see the opportunity to write a review, and then subscribe to my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. So with that, everybody, we are at the end of our time, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy beginning of spring in March. I hope things are starting to pop and bloom where you are like they are here. And call in next week, submit your questions online, and register for the drawing, and sign up for the Angelic Attendant training, too. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Bye now.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Twitter at AskJulieRyan and like her on Facebook at AskJulieRyan. For information on how you can ask Julie your question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.